What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? It's me, the Village Storyteller. And I'm back again on the Village Storyteller channel with a story, man. As y'all know, I'll let you always know from the beginning on the Village Storyteller channel that these are stories. That's exactly what they are, stories. They're not true, but they're for my loyal listeners who passing time at work, who passing time on their way to work, who passing time at the house and don't feel like picking up a book and reading it, and they want to hear an audiobook story. This is what it would be considered. So as time goes on, I'm not even going to keep reiterating this because you're going to already know that if you go to the Village Storyteller channel, that you getting fiction. For those who don't know what fiction are, go look it up and you'll learn and you'll know what you're getting at the Village Storytellers channel. Anyway, man, this story, man, is a story of about a guy who had just got out and he had no regards for the police. He had a real disdain for the police. And he wasn't one of them ones that would just take off running and do all this old stuff because the police were coming around. It wasn't him. Anyway, we'll start at the beginning, y'all. This was on a Saturday. This was on a Saturday, a sunny Saturday. Everybody was in the park, of course. You know, homeboys, homegirls, they was drinking. That alcohol called Cisco had just came out. Now, everybody was talking about Cisco. They were talking about how strong it was, how to get you faded, and how you just doing some crazy stuff. That's what they talked about a lot. And so the homeboy Sinister, before he had got out the pen, he had heard about it when he would call back to the streets and, homies would try to keep him up on current events. They let him know about, man, they got something out here that everybody drinking called Cisco. And he was like, man, well, what's up with the Cisco? He like, man, it's like a wine cooler, but it got a high level percentage of alcohol, man, and it's sweet and good. And you really don't know how high and drunk that you really getting from this stuff. But everybody's on it. He was like, man, okay. So now by the time Sinister got out and went to the hood, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was there. They was glad to see him. He was kicking it. And first thing he wanted to know, man, where the Cisco at? And so, his homies were like, oh, cuz, yeah, man, the Cisco, yeah. You hip to it. He like, man, I heard so much about it. You know what I'm saying? Look, I want to see it. Look, what's up? He said, so they were like, well, come on, let's go across the street to the store and get some Cisco. Now, at that time, everybody over here in Sinister's neighborhood was drinking the orange Cisco, and they called it the do-it fluid. He say, if you get this fluid, you gon' do it. Orange Cisco. Okay. So he got him two of them. Now Cisco hadn't been out but one day. The same day he got out. Well, you can say 2 days because he got out on a Thursday. He got out that Thursday, kicked it. Here it is. Friday went by, and here it is Saturday. Okay, so now he getting the do it fluid. He drinking, everybody kicking it. Sinister didn't smoke weed, so he was cool on that one. And he taking it down, and so he talking crazy. Oh man, this ain't nothing. Man, it ain't nothing, man. I drank this, man. This ain't nothing but some Kool-Aid. This ain't nothing. So the homies, they steady tell him like, man, better take it easy, man. It ain't no Kool-Aid. It got creep action on it. It will creep up on you, homie. You know what I'm saying? Better slow your roll. Slow your roll. Man, I ain't slowing nothing, man. I'm OG with this thing, man. I can do this thing. It ain't nothing, man. I drank hard liquor. This ain't nothing but a wine cooler. Okay. So, homies, they looking at each other winking like, yeah, okay, we gonna let Big Bad Mr. Sin learn the hard way. So, lo and behold, Sinister, he went on and took one of the Ciscos to the head, and he was working on the other one, and the second one was almost gone. Sinister didn't even realize when the Cisco had creeped up on him. It flatlined him. It knocked him clean for a loop. He didn't even know. Man, he was so drunk, he didn't know he was drunk. So Sinister walked off. There's a bunch of people in the park, playing around. Swimming pool was open. And kids jumping around, swimming, playing. They running around the thing. He went and sat on the benches. So he was really just trying to figure out, man, look, I'm high, drunk as a kite. Say high. He said he was drunk as a kite. And he realized that. So anyway, about 4, 5 of his homeboys come running through the park. They running through the park. And he was like, Cub, what's up, man? What's up? They like, man, the one time. So he like, where? He like, man, here they come right there. So it was like 3 of his little homies. They proceeded to run off. Now, Sinister being who he was and, how he felt about the police, he figured, man, look, I'm from this park. I'm not going nowhere, period. I ain't did nothing. I ain't doing nothing. Police just don't run me off. So now when the police pull up on him, they stop in the car and they look at him. He looking at them. Now, they clearly see he was a little faded, and he know he faded too, but now Sinister didn't care nothing about that. So they looking at him, Sinister give him that look right back. So they kind of like raised their head. I'm like, what's up? So Sinister gave him the same nod back, like, what's up? Now, the police ain't stupid. The police know that Sinister's from this neighborhood right here, but they also know of him. But now, even if they did not know of him, it was something about Sinister. It was a look about Sinister that told them, we're going to leave this one alone. Plus, they knew that this was one of the OG homies, one of the big homies. He wasn't one of them little kids that they be messing with all the time. He was a big homie. So I guess the police figured, well, valor is a better part of discretion, so we just going to go. They jetted. They kept driving on around. Okay. So now Sinister's still sitting there chilling out, you know what I'm saying? He riding his drunk. The police came around and started messing with some more homeboys from the hood. They had one of the homies and 2 of the homegirls. And when Sinister looked up, they was putting them in cuffs. He didn't know what was going on. He was like tripping, like, wait a minute, hold on. One of the police, like, manhandled one of Sinister's homegirls a little bit too rough. And Sinister was the type, he was the protector. All he knew wasn't nobody gonna do nothing to his homies or homegirls when he was on deck. Not on his watch. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the kind that didn't care nothing about because you were a police. Look, Sinister felt like if he can be out here in these streets with this gang activity and getting at other people because of a piece of cloth that had a different color on it, he figured the police was fair game too. He didn't discriminate. He wasn't scared of no police. Period. So now when he seen the police manhandling his little homegirl, it kind of like kicked the police in the shin, like get up off of me. You know how you kick back when she had her hands behind her back and she was handcuffed, but the police was handling her a little bit too rough and she kicked back with her foot. Get up off of me. Now, when she hit the police in the leg, the police grabbed her by her hair and shook her head and proceeded to tell her, you better be still before I slam your head on this car. Not today, buddy. Man, Sinister looked up and he seen this. And all he knew was to react. Now, of course, with them going through, with his neighborhood going through what they go through a lot, they couldn't keep their heat on them because the police do what they was doing now, harassing, searching you, jumping out, taking pictures of you, just doing all type of crazy stuff. So what the homies would do is they kept heat, but they would keep it on the ground. They might have it over here with a brown bag laid over it, or it might be in a brown bag laid over here on the ground. Heat might be over here laid up under something. It might be over here in the bushes. It might be one over here up under the leaves. You know what I'm saying? They spreaded them out, but everybody knew where they could get to them. It was easy access. And you never had to worry about homies stealing them and you don't know who got them and put it back. No, the code was thick. They knew that the heats was there for the protection of the homies in case somebody tried to come up in this park and transgress. So now in Sinister's mind, the police was transgressing. And you got to look, this Cisco was talking. The Cisco was talking a mile a minute. And with the Cisco being in the system the way it was, it removed all Sinister's inhibitions. It removed all Sinister's safeguards. All he knew was go. He was on go mode. Sinister jumped up off the bench and he ran around the bench, and there was some big trees with big bushes around him right there by him. But he also knew that Fofo Magnum was up under there. And he got it. When he got it, he came around and he knew what he was finna do. He let one loose in the air first. Boom! That was for his homeboys and his homegirls to try to get out the way, because he didn't really want to key in on the police as long as they was right there. So now when he let it up, everybody around kind of was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He let another one loose in the air. Boom! At that time, the police was going for theirs, and the homegirls and the homies had laid down on the ground. Soon as they hit the ground, he proceeded to get a police to business. Boom! 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 He let off 3 more shots. The window of the police car shattered. One police took off running, and one police got behind the police car. But he didn't know at the time that the police that had got behind the police car was hit. He thought the police was in back of the car and was trying to use it for cover to shoot back. The police, when he got in back of the car, he laid down because he took one of them 4.4 shells. Now Sinister only had 1 shell left in the gun because it was a 6-shot. So he took off running through the park with the 1 shot left. Little kids was running, hollering, people moving out the way. So Sinister got away. But police was coming from everywhere. Sinister had left and called one of his homegirls to pick him up. She picked him up and she got on. So now she wanted to know, man, homie, where I'm going to take you to? Where we going? Where we going? So Sinister told her, he like, look, homegirl, check this out. Take me to my sister's house. I got to make a call. So they went to Sinister's sister's house. Sinister called one of his baby mamas. Now, when he called one of his baby mamas, she stayed out in Gardena. And he started telling her, look, I got to come out here. I got to do this and I got to do that. At first, she wanted to argue, but Sinister told her, look, this ain't no BS. I just did something stupid. I didn't want to use that K word. I don't know how YouTube be tripping. But I just did something. I just did something. So when she like, well, what did you do? What you done did? What you done did? And she's like, she calling him Stanley by his real name. Stanley, what you done did? So he proceeded to tell her what had just transpired. And she was like, what? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So come on. So Big C and Sinister, he had his homegirl take him to Gardena where his baby mama stayed, but she stayed with her mother. Her mother didn't know he was coming. And when she seen him, she started hollering, telling her daughter, call the police. That crazy fool over here, girl. Call the police. That crazy fool over here. So she was like, Mama, don't worry about it. I got it. No, I got it. She like, you sure? I got it. So Sin jumped out the car. He told his homegirl, okay, good looking out. And they went to the back house. So they had been back there for a couple of hours. Sin had explained to her what he did, what took place, what happened. And she telling them, look, baby, you just got out. You only been out 2 days. And you mean to tell me already you just been out 2 days and the police? And he was like, man, listen, I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It was what it was. It's going to be what it's going to be. Now you got to take into account, he's still a little tipsy at this time because that's Cisco talking to him. So she like, okay. So later on that night, her moms came out there and sat down with him and like, look, y'all please don't start acting up like y'all usually do. She said, Stanley, you're not going to give us no problems. And he was like, no, miss, I'm all right. I'm cool. So she left. So everything was cool. So the next day, When Sin called back to the set, the homies in panic mode. The police done shut the whole hood down. They parked everything. I'm talking about they jumping on homies. They locking them up. They want to know where is he? You know what I'm saying? And we gonna find him. But the whole hookup. So somehow, some way, they found out that it was Sinister who pulled this stunt. Man, look, they immediately went and kicked Sinister mama front door in, but Sinister didn't even live with his mama no more. He didn't even live with her no more. He hadn't stayed with her for years, but they didn't know that. But they knew where his mother lived. They kicked her door in looking for him. He wasn't there, you know what I'm saying, scared her. They start telling her, we gonna kill him when we catch him. We gonna do this and do that. So they put a SOS on Sinister. A SOS is a shoot on sight. They was tired of Sinister. They decided that they was gonna kill him. Wasn't no going to jail for sin. Wasn't no none of that. They was gonna kill Sinister. That they made their mind up. And so Sinister would call home every now and then, you know what I'm saying, and and talk to his mother. And she would tell him, baby, please, they doing this, they doing that, they follow me. They kicked the door in. Boom, they said they gonna kill you. I don't want to lose you. Da 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 da. And Sinister telling her, you know, mama, look, I love you. I love you, but I'm not finna turn myself in. Baby, they gonna kiss you. And he said, mama, I understand that's what they want to do. But I'm not going out. I'm not going out like that. If they do, I'm taking one with me. And so, you know, his mama proceeded to cry. You know, it just broke her heart. He was her only son. He was her only son. She didn't want to lose him. She didn't want to lose him. So, you know, days went on. And, you know, his money started getting funny. He called back to the set, and his homies were like, okay, come drop him off 100 here, 50 here, 75 here. And it just went, and that's just how it was going for a minute. You know what I'm saying? The police were very frustrated that they couldn't find him. That they could not find him. Other homies knew where he was. Just so happens, one of his homeboys had caught a case. And they had him at the police station. So now they told him, look, we can make this go away. He had an assault with a deadly weapon charge and a dope charge. He was already out on bail. But they didn't care nothing about him. They wanted Sin. And the police told him, look, we can make this go away if you tell us where your homeboy Sinister is. Now here it is. The little youngster did the dastardly deed that has taken oh so many of the homies off the streets. He told the police where Sinister was. The police did their due diligence. They let him go. And they explained to him, don't say nothing, or we will inform your whole neighborhood that you a snitch, that you a rat, that you the one that told us where your homeboy is. So he wasn't gonna say nothing. They got a task force together, and they went to the location. They went to the location that Sinister's little homie had told him he was at. He didn't know the exact address, but he knew what the house looked like, and he knew what the car looked like that be in front of the house. So the police, you know, they canvassed the area and they seen it, and they called in and like, we know where the house is. We know where it's at. At approximately 7:30 that night, the police surrounded the whole block. The whole block. And they also surrounded that house. They were in the front yard, the backyard, and they were on both sides of the house. And they called out with the bullhorn, Stanley Pitts, Stanley Pitts, come out the house with your hands up. Now at the time, Sinister sitting in the house talking to his baby mama. He had no idea because the house was an upstairs, downstairs house, and it had a basement at the bottom. That's where they at. One of the things that was lucky for him is that he wasn't outside in the back house where they happened to be, where they were staying at the time, because it was a house in the back, house in the front. They weren't in the back house. They were in the front. They were in the big house up front, but they were in the basement part. It was like a game room, and they were down there. And so when they heard it, his baby mama's mother come running down the stairs. The police got everything surrounded. The police got everything surrounded. So Sinister jumped up. What? And the first thing he did was grab his heat. So when he came up, he peeking through the curtains. He like see the police everywhere, lights, people across the street. The area is cordoned off. They got people getting back, and they hollering at him on the bullhorn. Stanley Pitts, come out the house. Stanley Pitts, come out the house. So his baby mama crying. He telling her, look, y'all go get in the bathtub, in the bathtub, lay down, cover the baby up. So her mother, she tripped. She like, what's going on? They coming in there. They gonna hurt her. He like, no, they not. I ain't gonna let them. So this went on for about 20 minutes. They steadily telling him to come out. They know he in there. So the phone rung. When the phone rung, it kept ringing and ringing. Then it hung up. Then it rung and rung again. It hung up. Then it rung and rung again. Sinister had been through so much stuff. He knew, man, that got to be the police. He told her mother, answer the phone. When she answered the phone, it was the police. And they told her, look, send him out. Tell him to come out, and won't nobody get hurt, won't nothing go on, but he got to come out. If he don't come out, that they were coming in, and they couldn't guarantee that everything was going to go correctly. So he had to make a decision. And he made a decision that he didn't want to see his baby mama or his child or her mother hurt. And he knew the police wanted him. He knew they wanted him bad. They wanted him for past indiscretions. They wanted him for what he was on the run for then. And they wanted him. They had been wanting him for years. Now here it is. He had just finished doing 8 years straight and got out. And at this time, he'd only been out now going on like 10 days. And he was in this type of predicament. So it's going round and round and round and round. And he made a decision that he was going to come out. So he got on the phone. He told the captain, he said, look, man, I'm coming out. Ain't nobody in here but me. And I'm coming out. They say, do you have a weapon? He say, yeah. Throw it out. He said, it's me, my baby mama, my child, and her mother. So the police told him to send him out first. So he told all them, y'all go on out. Go out. So his baby mama, his child, and the baby mama, they ran out. And the police grabbed them and pulled them in back of the car. And they drew down. They was like, come out. Now you come out. He took the piece. He took his heat he had. He slung it out out the front door. It hit the ground. Boom, boom, boom. Police got it. They like, now you come out. Sinister was coming out with his hands up. When he came out, it was a police on each side of the door. It was a police on these people's house across the street, on top of the roof, and so many police cars. It was police on the side of the house right there looking at him. And he knew he was going back to jail for a long time. So when he came out, he was walking. They was telling him, walk to the curb, walk to the sidewalk and lay down. Right as he got to the side, as he was getting to the sidewalk, his child broke out the mother's arms and tried to run to him, and she was hollering, "Daddy, Daddy!" And he meant to tell his baby mama. He made a move, get her, get my child. And when he made that quick move, the police made their quick move. All you heard was gunfire. Over 40 shots was fired. And when the smoke cleared, Sinister was no longer with us. Peace. I'm out.